Welcome to the Living Well podcast sponsored by the Village in Howard. We're a nonprofit organization that assists 50 plus residents in Howard County, Maryland. We're 11 years old and our 170 members live in their own homes. Our members help one another as neighbors helping neighbors. We are your podcast hosts,
Mark Tui
and Joy Chung. Our guests are Cathy, Latham, and Mary Greene. Both are longtime members of the Village in Howard. The topic of our podcast today is random acts of kindness. You probably have been kind to others all the time, but not realizing the impact that they had on other people. Have you let a stranger in the supermarket go ahead of you in the line because she or he had only two items to pay? Have you held the door open at the mall when you saw somebody walking with a walker? Have you taken a trash can to the curb for a neighbor or friend after they had surgery? Have you complimented a neighbor how beautiful her flowers looked in the yard? These were little acts of kindness, often brought smiles to someone's face or reduced the stress in someone's life. Many years ago, on a Saturday after our village walk, I was waiting in line to pay for my coffee at Whole Foods. And when it was my turn to pay, the cashier told me that you don't have to pay anything, your bill was paid already. So I was really surprised and I asked, who was that? And they pointed out a couple that was walking away. So I quickly walked over and thanked them. So this happened many years ago. I still remember their kindness and generosity until this day. So today, Cathy and Mary will share their personal stories and how their lives were impacted by acts of kindness. So welcome, Cathy and Mary, to our podcast
Welcome.
studio.
Thank you, Joy.
On the start there.
So, what do you think? How do we define a random act of kindness? Like Joy did a little bit, but is there something larger, more specific? Like, what do you guys think about?
I think it's a nick of time, the idea that you encounter someone in a situation and they're often backed into a corner. There isn't an easy solution. It's embarrassing or stressful to them. And if you can just quietly step up and help them, it ends up being mutual support. My example for this is also a supermarket example. And it was after a blizzard here, which is not an ordinary occurrence. I was in my rain tote boots, which were not blizzard worthy, and got in line at the Safeway. And a young woman right in front of me had these wonderful boots that were knee high, just modestly dressed. And so I said, gosh, I wish I had your boots. How smart you are. She went through the line and she was packing up her groceries. And the cashier said, oh, your card is $11 short. Let's change. And because of the way we're paying now, I could lean over to the cashier and say, can you put it on my card, please? And do it quietly. She was fumbling, trying to make decisions. The crowd was queuing up impatiently. And so just very briefly, we had made contact, which was lovely because we'd been snowed in. And she could go on her way, and I could feel good about helping out a sweet person. Mm-hmm. So that's one of my examples.
Mm-hmm.
So Mary, I love that you came up with this term when we were talking several weeks ago, the nick of time. And I say, what do you mean by nick of time? Well, you were there at the time that she needed, that you could see that she needed some help.
Right.
And you sprung into action.
Yeah.
And the clerk, the grocery person, said, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in a situation like that, but the lady that I wanted to just give her a few dollars so she wouldn't have to put stuff back, she wouldn't take the money. She would not take the money. But to get to your question, a few years ago, I was put in a situation where I kind of had to look up what random acts of kindness really meant, because, I mean, obviously I knew what people did, but I wondered how it got started. Well, you can Google it, and all this stuff comes up. There's random acts of kindness for teachers, for all kinds of professions, and then for just regular people. And you know, so what can just regular people do? And why would you do this? Well, the first time someone performed one for me was many years ago, and I pulled out of the garage and headed off down the street, got to the light, and behind me, it was a red light, behind me, a really nice looking young guy with a whole suit and the whole thing, got out of his car and he's walking toward my car. And I'm thinking, well, I don't know him. What's this about? And so I, you know, let the window down a little bit. And he handed me my husband's whole set of car keys, house key, briefcase key, everything you can imagine had somehow been set on the trunk lid of my car. And since he was behind me, he could see that. He never said a word. He handed me the keys, and I went, oh my God. My husband would have been fit to be tied, and then the whole household would have been, you know. And so we never said a word to each other. I've never seen him again, as far as I know. Rolled up the window, light turned green. I will never forget that one. That one for
Cathy,
sure.
will you tell us a random act of kindness you did for some service people on your street?
Oh, just recently?
Yeah.
Okay, so this was a really cold winter day. We had a cold January this year. And there were two guys out, Howard County street workers, and they were cleaning out a drain, which is really important because it gets clogged with leaves and sticks and it causes a lot of damage. So they were working really hard and, you know, and down on their knees and, you know, up and around and lifting and cold. I mean, really like in the teens. And I'm watching them from my front window thinking, wow, you know, and being a nature person, I don't want those drains clogged up. And the leaves were piling up, so it was ugly. And I thought, nobody even knows they're doing this. Nobody's even caring. Nobody even has any idea what they're doing. How can I let them know that I appreciate what they're doing? So I hemmed and hawed, and I thought, oh, they're going to think this is so silly and stupid, and who's that lady watching us from the window and all this stuff. I went through all that. And then something said, just do it. You know, that's really, I've been learning that about a lot of things lately, just do it. And so finally, as they were loading up their truck, I did open up and I went out to the sidewalk, out to my front steps. And I said, thank you guys for taking care of that. I really appreciate it. And one guy said, thank you. And the other one turned around and gave me a smile this big. Yeah. And it was the cutest smile, but he said, thank you too. And like, he really kind of got it, I felt like. Yeah. It wasn't just a thank you. I saw the whole thing, you know, the whole expression. And so to your question a little bit ago, I think, I could tell he appreciated that, which then made me feel, wonderful. Oh, I'm so glad I did that. That felt so good. And so, you know, if you Google it, you'll find out this is good for our whole system. Yeah. It releases all the good feelings. And so it's healthy. There's health associated with this.
Yeah, I love that.
Right, that, Mary? We want health.
Exactly. I find something beyond this. And now I'm going to put Joy in the spotlight. I remember joining the village 11 years ago when I was like a deer in the headlights. And I had come to an over 55 expo, and Joy, of course, was there, giving pamphlets and so forth to help my husband, who was in the final stages at that point of Alzheimer's. And I, you know, was really rather desperate. And after handing me the various pamphlets for my bag, Joy turned to me and she said, "You come walk with us," and told me where to come on Saturday morning. And I'm going, "Oh, okay." And that was the beginning of joining a group of seniors from 50 through 90s, where it didn't matter whether you were homebound, whether you could walk, someone could show up for coffee afterwards. There was a sense of people not being visible, let's put it in that frame. And later on in the village, they started smaller pod groups. I don't particularly love the word pod, but it was a wonderful idea that Michelle had. And basically, we got together for lunch or for short trips, shared interests. And what was good about that is after the first meeting, when we all dutifully recited our careers, and which were in the rearview mirror for the most part, then we could talk about what was troubling us, what was inspiring us, all that stuff. And today, I'm thinking of examples of people who sometimes had never been sick before, and then suddenly their luck ran out for a period of time. Not hopeless, there still was a possibility of the comeback kid. But I was helping someone with groceries weekly, and then when I had a recurrence of a birth defect and correction and needing to have surgery, she was the one who called me. And she would call me from a rehab center. It didn't matter what health issues were going on at the time. And that's the sort of thing which you can keep up being connected, being kind. Even my husband in mid-stage Alzheimer's would help my younger son's friends who didn't have father figures at that point, and give them advice that they thanked him for to this day. They didn't find it awkward or anything. That's how he could come back and be himself. So yes, this is something that can continue friendships as well.
Oh, it's a beautiful story, Mary.
Yeah.
I think we get to a certain point in our lives, and as we become the village demographic, I guess,
Right.
the senior demographic, people need little things in their lives. Like we just did a session with another person that is about loss. And as we age, we lose things through choice or not.
Mm-hmm.
And that kindness can help us all get through those sorts of things, I think.
Right.
That's a huge point. I was reading something the other day that I did not bring with me, but that particular article listed the losses that as people age, they don't have to already be elder, the losses accumulate over time. So by the time we get to this age, even, I lost my husband through death, but I've lost, in quotes, my children who are grown, and two of the three have moved to different states.
Exactly.
And now there were two grandchildren that lived here, and one is even in another country, and the other is married in another state. And then my grandchildren in Michigan are grown and off in other places. So it's not even like just going to visit my son and everybody's there,
Exactly.
or visit my daughter and everybody's there. No. So, if we don't have friends that we can count on,
Mm-hmm.
friends that are available to help us if we ask, or if we don't, which is the most fun, where would we be? Where are people that don't have a program like the Village in Howard, which many counties now have, but it's still growing, but many counties don't have, as you described. So these kinds of things are important to our health, our emotional, mental health, as well as physical.
Yes.
Yeah.
So kindness is being kind to ourselves. So if we're now talking about a type of kindness that isn't just kindness from someone who is extremely healthy, in perfect lifestyle, everything else, we're really talking about being able to be kind to people in sickness and health. I mean, it means anything. And so we might talk about a surprise that you have.
Well, before we do that,
Okay.
and if you don't want to go down this road, please say so, Mary. But I do know that you've just been through quite a traumatic up and down health situation that you've gotten through, at least almost through, I think. How did you find that for you? Did you feel alone? Were people there for you? Did somebody pop in and say, hey, or make a phone call out of the clear blue?
Well, I think what happens, and what's interesting is it's the same stuff we were talking about before, is friends who have checked in on each other already. Often the people who are the most generous with that have their own setbacks, their own health emergencies. And sometimes it's not a topic for dinner conversations. So you're talking about situations where you might go through a surgery, for instance, and you're thrilled to have that possibility because it has been life-saving in the past and hopefully will be again. But what was interesting to me was, you know, in my case, I got home and someone had stolen my Verizon account, so I had no communication either. And finally started getting calls on the backup line. But the calls were from people who really understood that sometimes we can't talk. I lost my voice for over a month. Sometimes our health is so unpredictable during those healing stages that really having somebody with a long phone call or a visit, it just isn't even practical. But the fact that they do a short phone call with, look, whatever, just know I'm thinking about you. And it's technology, of course, is wonderful for helping us with this now, Zoom calls, all of that. But what's ironic is my son, who lives in Sweden, flew over and made it part of a business trip. And he had the SIM card in his phone from overseas that had been given to him by the IT person in the office. It didn't work either.
Oh my goodness.
So it's more a matter of just saying, look, I see you. I know you're going through a rough patch, but remember, we've been here before. My first surgery for this was when I graduated with a master's degree, and they told me that I was going to die, and I said, well, I can't, I just got a job. I really did say
There
that.
you go.
Yeah, I just such a blank slate and so foolish that I didn't know that was ridiculous. But by gosh, it did. So it isn't all over until it's all over. Just someone checking in and saying, I can bring food, I can do this, or I can do that. And of course, the people who offer to drive and stay with you when it doesn't go well. And here we are again. I think that's the most beautiful thing.
It certainly is. That's also the power of positive thinking. Wow.
Well,
I can't be sick. I just graduated.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I think attitude in a lot of health issues is really important.
I agree.
Whether it's I'm going to beat this or I'm going to accept it and move through it, like very valid ways to. I think this is it for me. Like these affect your mental state, and I think that also the support we get from people in our community, our small little community. The loneliness aspect here. You feel much more alone in the worst parts of your life than when things are good, when you can go do things and get out in the world. And some of these things keep us from being in the world.
But they also make us realistic. I think that's how I came back around again. I mean, the people that I talked to for the most part were the Verizon folks trying to get my... And so that's how I got my voice back. I mean, no matter what life throws at you, it's just somebody's out there, and they're saying, "Look, you need to buck up, kiddo, because this is going to be a rough ride, but here you are still." So, yeah, positive thinking comes from this whole kindness network.
So you were being kind to yourself, but you probably didn't even realize it at the time because you had pretty big.
Yeah, because I was
Thing that you
focused
were-
on
yeah,
something else, which
yeah.
was probably a godsend, you know. I was not thinking about, oh my God, the sky is falling. It was, okay, this is absolutely terrible. Now, let's get on with it.
But it's a mindset, right? Is what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Like, it's a mindset, finding the problems of other people,
Mhm.
the things that are happening around you, paying attention to the people around you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And how can I help? How can I be kind? How can I improve somebody's situation?
Since I knew that I was going to be doing this at some point in the future, I have been thinking about random acts of kindness quite a bit.
Yes.
And so several months ago, I went through Popeye's chicken place, went to the window, and I thought, and I always wonder, how do people pay for the guy behind them, so to speak?
Mhm.
You don't know what they're going to order.
Yeah.
So I checked, and there were like only 2 people in the car. So you know, how much is this going to cost me? How I handled it was, you know, in my brain, I'm saying, okay, well, there are 2 people there. And so what I did is I went to pay for my little thing that I got. I think I gave him a $20 bill and paid for my thing. And then I had $10 change, and I said, would you apply this to the people behind me?
Yes.
And so that was how I handled that one. Yeah. That didn't bring me, it did bring me some joy. And now, of course, I'm laughing about it. But it didn't bring quite the same joy as some of the smaller other kinds of things. The guy handed me the keys. That was really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Yes.
But when I do something for somebody else, that is when I really feel good. All those hormones just get released, and I mean, I can smile about it all day long.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so I
You
kind
know,
of
it
keep
isn't a
going back to
sacrifice,
that.
is it?
No,
It's a gift.
yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of surprising, but yes.
Well, lots
Absolutely.
of times you do things that you don't know the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
You give somebody a little gift or whatever. I remember many years ago at the Chinese Community Center in Albany, a gym instructor just came from China, and she was teaching us some basic exercises. And I bought her a mat for the floor.
Oh,
I didn't even think about it because she just came and I figured, you know, she was a graduate student, didn't have much money.
yeah.
So I gave her many years ago. She said, oh, thank you so much. I said, you know, you gave me that mat. It was so helpful. So lots of times you do something small
Mm-hmm.
and you're not thinking about consequences. You're not expecting any reward or
Mhm.
thank you
Exactly.
or anything.
Yeah.
You just did it like you saw the need.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you put yourself in somebody else's shoes,
Mm-hmm.
these ideas will come quickly
Mm-hmm.
if you intend to do some kind deeds.
And that's when it works best, when it's a two-way street. So,
I've had an issue
Yes.
in the grocery store parking lots and with the grocery cart. So recently I've had some hip issues, so walking back and forth and so on and so forth, sometimes it's a little bit painful. And I got to thinking, you know, I just wish somebody, so I'll take my cart to my car and unload my groceries, and I think, oh, I wish that guy over there would say, could I take your cart back for you, ma'am? And nobody ever did, until just recently somebody said, you want me to take that cart back? And I said, I sure do, thank you so much. But you know what I realized through that is, well, I never offered to take somebody else's cart back. And so now I'm focusing on that. And I did do that the other day. I just said, do you want me to do that?
or
I said, yes.
here's my card.
Oh, that's great. Well, Mary,
Okay.
you don't know this, but, well, you really do know this, but, so one of the things that I have been doing
Yes.
in the, with that other time when I first started really learning about random acts, and I thought, you know, I never think about it until I get down in the dumps or I get caught in the corner or my hip hurts and I can't walk across the parking, you know, and then I think, oh, you know, where is that person that could help me? Well, am I the person to help others? Am I doing that enough? and what do I do on a dreary day? And so this is a jar of
Not ice cream, okay.
no ice cream in there,
Jam.
and you know what? I didn't even put
Pickle.
anything food about. But there's several pieces of paper, and you can choose one on any day you want. You could do it every morning if you wanted to get in the habit of that, or you could do it when you're down in the dumps, or when you feel like whatever.
Okay.
So each little piece of paper has a random act of kindness that you can do for someone else, or even maybe for yourself. And we've got to do that for ourselves too. So pick one. I don't know what you're going to pick, but that's okay.
Send a positive message to someone. Oh, I love this. Because what are we talking about? Maybe a text message. Send one to my sister who is about to have surgery, which I did last night. Are you reading my mind? And how about everyone here? What would you send as a message to someone? Or a different act of kindness? Because we've got a whole jar full. Thank you, Cathy.
Let's see what I have.
How to get out.
Send a card to someone you haven't talked to in a while.
Oh, that's great.
There are many such people.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially nowadays when we don't send cards, we'd send a text.
And that's
Yeah.
awkward.
Well, I do have a whole pack of cards
Yeah, we get them
from
free.
the Alzheimer's.
Yeah, we get them
Association.
free.
I forgot to send this to you 10 years ago.
What's yours?
That's wonderful.
Be kind to yourself
There we go.
and check in with friends you haven't heard from or talked to in a while. I have a few of them that I should touch base with. Now that I'm retired, you could be like turn that into a lunch or turn that into a thing,
Exactly.
Well, I'm going to choose one too. You guys had fun doing that. Let me see. I might not do this every day, but I did set it up quite a while ago because, on days that I'm not feeling good about myself or whatever,
Yeah.
Oh, share cookies with a friend or a neighbor.
I volunteer to be your friend.
Yeah. And also
baking now.
I also put on here, leave treats for the delivery drivers.
Yeah. I know someone who does that.
That was on the list from the computer. And
Yeah.
I don't know how I would do that, but it gets you to thinking, doesn't it? Now, what could I do? It's just some simple little things, and just thinking of another human being.
Well,
And
just
you'll feel good after you've done it.
well, and compare it to my endless to-do list.
Yes.
With this, it's seemingly random. There's a kind of magic attached to it. And so it isn't just, you must do this today. Send a positive message to somebody else that's going to get you going, as opposed to scrolling endlessly.
Yeah.
A good use of our time instead of a bad use of our time.
Yes.
The scrolling, I mean.
Yeah. Well, or if that's your thing, you can do this and then scroll.
That's true. That's true.
But these kinds of things also, at least for me, make me think of, well, what else can I do?
Yeah.
For others.
I might not want to go
others.
back to scrolling.
Gets you out going.
It gets the energy and the hormones all going. It's like, oh, this is fun. What else can I do? So, and we can teach it to our children or grandchildren or anyone we're talking to. We might be a friend. We might mention, or I might just hand her the jar. If she's complaining about something, I might say, here, pick one of those, friend.
It connects to your lifelong career. Think about that. I mean, that's one of the odd things in this era of, it's sort of like people then say, okay, I've transitioned to this, from being a parent, a mom or a dad or whatever, from working full-time and a half, whatever, to this. Why not use something like this exercise to bring the past into the present? That's what I love about it. Yeah, you're still you, only now you've got some time to do something else too.
That's an interesting thought. While you were talking, I was thinking, so we live in our own homes and we live in Howard County and Columbia, Maryland, and then we belong to this village of people who are 55 and over, and most of us are more our age than the 55, but we do have some.
I'm one of the few young people, yes.
So he's so appreciated and so overworked, overbooked, and overappreciated. That probably not. We might all have to do some random act of kindness.
Absolutely.
You know,
Mark.
The random acts sort of come to me very easily because, you know, I'm a tech guy and I can help you with your phone, or I can do something like that. I tell people publicly in the village, I don't work on phones.
Yes,
they are very perplexing, and I can get a tap on the shoulder and help you with that. I think the technology help I can offer people is something that it comes easily to me and is not a difficult thing. And I use the phrase, I don't know how we can expect mere mortals can solve this technology problem, because there are things that are hard for me that I imagine are an impossibility for folks in the senior demographic, or even much, much younger. Like, the technology is so much that's the thing I know that I can offer to people as my kindness on a pretty regular basis.
And it's huge.
Let me help you with that.
Yeah, that's huge for this
keep
community.
your skills right up to the minute.
It does.
And tech is changing so fast now.
I have to tell my wife, you know, if there's an annoying thing in your phone, you've got to tell me immediately, because I could probably fix it. Because I usually hear, oh, it's been that way for a year. That's really been annoying. So I can make your lives better.
Yes.
You just tell me about the annoying thing.
Well, yeah. So it takes your wife a whole year. It takes most of us, you know, Mark, can you do this for me? Tell me.
Right. So that's what I can offer. So I know that inside, I need to do that more, and I can help people with things like that. I think about the way you affect other people's lives a lot, like the things that you do for the village, the programs you create, and some of it is just like, well, I had this random thought that this would be fun to do.
Yes.
And so let's I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just gonna, like, the millennials talk about putting intention out in the world, right?
Yeah.
And you do that all the time. You put intention out there in the world, and other crazy people join you to go do those things.
Yeah, I had no idea. Sometimes when I propose a new program, I didn't know if anyone will come, but it's okay. Just try it.
You have so many ideas. That's the thing. You are an idea person. They just come, like Mark explained, and then you're brave enough to put them out there. And then some of us are.
Just do it.
You'll do it again if they don't come. That's really the secret to life. You know, we just can't expect instant success. But the more we work at it, the better we are. So that's
be consistent and persevere. Yeah. Like the meetup for the knitting and arts and crafts.
And it just,
I don't care if only 2 people come.
Yeah.
I will be there.
Well, those
and just
2
keep
people.
It going. Yeah. But sometimes 10 people will come. So
I wanted to stop by to arts and crafts just to say hi and get to know people that don't go to the other events I go to, because I know there's people that are doing cool things that I haven't had an opportunity to touch or get a relationship with them.
Oh, we even have a member. She's legally blind. She knits. Yes. She will come whenever she could get it right. Oh. It was just so inspiring.
Yeah.
She said someone knitting, she couldn't even hardly saw the road to come into the office door.
So she's having a social life here.
Yes, that was the only thing. She participates in the village.
Wow, listening to others and sharing with others.
And then we share stories while we're doing our project.
Yeah, that's it. The stories
that was more important than the project.
I drive a legally blind member of the village, and if I start to take a wrong turn, she knows, because she can feel the road. No, I tell you, this stuff is just beautiful. And you become good friends, and all of that is part of it. Yeah. So, yes, this is a 2-way street, definitely. Yeah. I think that's what I want everybody.
I mean, a random act of kindness doesn't have to be so random, right?
That's exactly.
You could volunteer for an organization and just provide a service to somebody, you know, like getting to a doctor's appointment or helping, you know, doing, helping somebody hang a picture, a handyman sort of stuff. Like, there's all kinds of ways that you can be kind to people.
Yeah.
And just giving of yourself.
Yeah.
That's what we're really talking about here, right? Is just giving of yourself.
Yeah, so whether you do it by approaching a business or a group like us and saying, what can I do to help? I want to serve, you know, my community.
Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful. You still get probably the hormone release and all of that. But then these random ones out in parking lots or Popeyes or the grocery store, or, those are the ones too.
Once I was in a giant parking lot. I usually deliberately park my car far away.
I do too.
So I had these 2 bags. I was walking towards my car, and someone stopped and says, "Could I give you a ride home?" I said, "Oh, my car's right over there." I just, you know,
Did you give them your
gray-haired
bags?
old lady with 2 bags, very heavy, walking in the parking lot. You know, if I didn't have a car, I would really appreciate it, right?
I know.
So that
Thoughtfulness.
was just so heartwarming.
Yeah, and it only takes one person to help another one person.
Yes.
And then that person might want to do that. And then that person might want to do that sometime with somebody else.
Yeah.
And so we may not even realize that we're contributing to the universe, you know, in a very tiny way, but it has to start somewhere.
Right.
And why can't it start with us?
Wonderful.
Very good. Wow, that sounds like a good place to end on, right?
Yeah.
It all starts with us, just one person.
And then it comes back
It,
in many,
one way or
many
another.
ways.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your time.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you for the invitation.
Wonderful. Thank you.